This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
Are you going to Charleston in the coming weeks to visit your in-laws? Where are you guys going?
We are. We typically go a couple times a year. We've fallen in love with Charleston, South Carolina.
Who can blame you? It is so nice.
Yep, and we'll be down there right around end of June, heading into July 4th. So we're looking forward to it. Can't wait, and we just love it down there.
Summertime, and the living's easy, although it is hot.
It's hot. It is hot.
Sunscreen and lots of water.
Southern charm, a lot of Southern charm. So.
That's right.
Good food, great beaches, great people, just a great city.
I think I heard somebody joking once that the Southern charm is derived from the heat. Like, we have to be charming in order for people to want to keep coming around.
Probably true.
Another thing that you have to consider with Charleston and a lot of our coastal towns is the fact that it is coming into hurricane season now. I guess, are we officially in it now?
Close.
I think it's
we're getting close.
June to October, perhaps.
Yep.
And that whole notion of always having to be prepared. Fortunately, we have on our side in 2022 the idea of, weather technology and Al Roker on the Today Show and all the things, Weather Channel folks running around giving us the warnings and the heads up. But that's when it comes to the weather, which ironically might be a little bit more easy to anticipate and predict than when it comes to the financial roller coaster and storm that has been in the markets these past few weeks, Abe. And trying to keep up with how to stay optimistic with it all, Chair and CEO of JP Morgan Chase is actually making waves with his gloomy outlook on the economy. Jamie Dimon is pessimistic that we'll be able to avoid a recession. Here's what he said.
It's a hurricane. Right now, it's kind of sunny. Things are doing fine. Everyone thinks the Fed can handle this. That hurricane is right out there down the road coming our way. We just don't know if it's a minor one or Superstorm Sandy or Andrew or something like that. And you better brace yourself.
All right, so let's go with the hurricane analogy then. When a storm is brewing, you go into protective mode. You do things like board up the windows, lay sandbags, get generators, flashlights, batteries, food, and water ready. What is the financial equivalent of these things, Abe? What can we do to get into protective mode with our retirement money?
Building in layers of protection wherever you can, Heather, around your life savings. Look, you can wonder if the next downturn is going to wreck your retirement, or you can make a plan designed to weather any storm. And when you build a plan for this next phase of your life, phase 2, the descent down your own retirement mountain, right? You are done accumulating. You are done maxing out your accounts. You have transitioned or already are into retirement. You do not want to be forced back to work. You do not want to be another 2008 statistic. You don't want to be another hurricane statistic, if you will, right? I remember just a couple of years ago, my best friend and his family almost got stuck in the middle of a hurricane, which actually never really ended up hitting the Tampa, Florida area. Mm-hmm. But they had all the hurricane warnings, and the entire city started heading up north all the way up to the Pensacola region. And I'm just picturing that now, them driving up that highway all the way up to the Panhandle in Florida, getting the heck out of Dodge so that they didn't get stuck in a major storm. And it actually never ended up hitting the city and the area flooded, but no hurricane, just a ton of rain and flood. So It was much better than a hurricane. We can't afford a hurricane. We can't afford another 2008. We can't afford to lose 20, 30, 40% of our monies, which we are flirting with right now. We are flirting with bear market territory in a few of these.
What are you talking about? Flirting is fun. This is not fun.
No, this is not fun at all. We are there, and people right now are becoming very aware, and I would say very concerned, because I do not think we're going to see that COVID bounce that we saw. I think the Federal Reserve has to continue to raise rates to get inflation under wraps. So we have got to have a plan for the good times and bad. And I guess when the times are good, It's fun opening up our statements and we're getting great returns, but when times are bad, that's when people don't like opening up their statements, and it is a harsh dose of reality, and we've got to plan for the bad times. Most people that we meet with, Heather, have won the game. They have enough accumulated. Now's the time. It's still not too late. I would encourage you to take action. Anyone listening right now, take action. There's a lot out of our control, but there's a lot in our control. One of those things is how much risk we take. We just met with a couple who are snowbirds. They actually live in Florida and Virginia, and they have $1.4 million saved. Nice. They're in their early to mid-60s. A little bit of cash and about $1 million in the market. So a couple $100,000 of cash actually and $1 million in the market. They came to us because 80% of their life savings is not protected in the market. They're invested as if they're maybe a 7 to a 7.5 on our scale of 1 to 10, but want to be a 3. They're taking on too much risk. So in addition, Heather, to taking on too much risk, they also had their stuff spread out. Like they set up some annuities with one person. They set up some managed money and investments with another person. They had no cohesiveness in their plan, no congruity in their plan. Working with another advisor who had them in a typical 60-40 stock bond mix, which is broken now. Stocks are down. Bonds are down. Everything is down. It's all broken. And his own account was performing better than his account that's with another advisor firm. That's with another big box firm. Yes.
Seriously?
I'm being serious.
Oh,
that is the case. We're seeing that a lot lately. So we helped them to reduce risk, Heather, from a 7 to an 8 down to a 3. Now, 70% of their life savings is truly out of that hurricane path. It's truly got a moat around the castle. That's exactly what they wanted. That's exactly what they need and deserve as they are headed into the first year of their retirement. Our market loss recovery program also helped them to recoup almost 50% of their market losses year to date.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's huge.
It is huge. Depending on how much someone has lost this year. Now, most losses we're seeing, Heather, at this time in the year, midway through the year, is about 10 to 20%.
Right.
So we might not be able to help someone recoup all of their losses, but even if we can help someone to recoup 25 to 50% of their losses year to date, that's a substantial amount of money, and one way that we're bringing value right now to our clients. So for anyone listening right now, if you sound a little bit like this couple, you're not sure you have the best plan for yourself. Maybe you have things scattered. Maybe you have an advisor here, an advisor there. You're doing some things on your own. There's no cohesiveness. There's no congruity and stickiness in your plan, if you will, where you truly know where you're headed going forward. We'd like to offer you that same portfolio x-ray to include our market loss recovery program review. That will include a comprehensive risk analysis, fees, costs, return potential, your maximum loss potential, so we can see where you stand today and if we need to take any appropriate action going forward.
All right, so keeping on the conversation about our market investments, Abe, the question that a lot of retirement investors are asking as the stock market continues to fall within correction territory is, will it go even lower and perhaps completely crash? So what I want to ask you about is portfolio allocation. How can checking that, our allocation, help us with these worries?
Heather, this is huge.
Okay.
Traditionally, the traditional old school way to put together a retirement portfolio for a retiree was this combination of stocks and bonds. And typically, the standard combination that most people chose back in the day and still do is that 60-40 split between stocks and bonds, meaning 60% in stocks and equities and 40% in bonds, because we all know you shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket. Right. And when stocks are really doing well, bonds might be behind. When stocks are down, bonds are there to soften the blow. We are in a pickle right now. We are in a big dilemma. Everything is down. Stocks are down, bonds are down, the entire market's down. And what's worse with the bond market is that as the Federal Reserve continues to raise rates and bond values have a seesaw inverse relationship. The bond market right now is down about 10 to 11%. The stock market is down worse. And as rates continue to rise, what we'll probably likely see in the future is bond values continuing to go south. We just had a lady call into the show and come into our office. She is single. She's 65. She lives in Alexandria, Virginia, and she's got about $1 million saved. And just like so many couples and people we're talking to now, she's invested in taking on more risk than she wants to be. She's a 7.5, which means about $750,000 is in equities and about 25%, $250,000 is in bonds. So she's invested like she's a 7.5, Heather, but she wants to be a 3. She's taken on too much risk, worried about the markets, really losing sleep over the markets. We had one guy recently, I think I mentioned this on the show a few weeks back, that said, I'm looking forward, Abe, to Fridays at 4 o'clock when the stock markets close. Mm-hmm. And that's not how we want to feel as we head into retirement.
Right.
And this lady, like most people we speak to, Heather, she's won the game. She's got $1 million. She's got Social Security. She's got a small pension. She has more than enough that she needs to retire successfully and live a great retirement. So why take on any extra risk than necessary? So what was the solution for her? We built in protections for a phase 2 retirement income plan. She values protection and preservation more than big gains in the market, because with big gains in the market can come big losses, as we're seeing right now. We also introduced our market loss recovery program for her, which helped to recoup almost half of her 2022 losses year to date.
Nice.
So for anyone listening out there and you're 55 years old or older, if you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, because that's where our tax planning and our comprehensive planning is best suited, we'd like to offer you, just like we did with this lady, a 401k and IRA X-ray to include our market loss recovery program review. Find out how to lower risk, how to lower fees potentially, and maybe even recoup some or all of your losses year to date, depending on how bad they are. Just go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we'll start that same conversation with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NPM number 770-3575.